In this video, I want to talk about binding and loosing. Matthew chapter 16 here. Well, remember, Jesus is speaking with Peter, who was given the sign of cock-a-doodle-doo, which is parabolically the third watch time. So when Jesus said, I will give you the keys of the regency of the heavens, and whatsoever you bind upon the earth land, that will be as having been bound in the heavens, etc., etc., he's speaking of a third watch time audience. So this has no application to us presently now. So again, Peter, with the sign of the cock-a-doodle-doo, Mark 13:35, represents those from midnight to the completion at this hour, which is called the third watch time here in Luke 12:38, where blissful are those. So they will allot the regency among the blissful are those of the third order. Not the first, not the second, but the third. This is why it's so important to give diligence to correctly cutting the word of truth, so we know the context and timeline of who Jesus is speaking to. So here, way back at the beginning of Jesus' ministry, Matthew chapter 5, the Beatitudes, the blissful, 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 is speaking to third watch timers, since theirs is the regency of the heavens. Hence, I will give you the keys of the regency of the heavens. So these are concerning the blissful are those who will come into the allotment of Matthew 25:34. These will allot the regency, having been prepared from the downcast of the cosmos, which is different from what is called the heavenly on regency. With every bespirited blessing in the heavenlies on, epuranios, is, we could say, prepared for those outchosen before the downcast, not from, but before the downcast, according to the mystery. Making known to us the mystery of his will into the guardship of the dwelling law, to uphead the all in Christ, which the blissful Beatitudes, they come in last, least. Again, back to Matthew chapter 25, verse 40. My least brothers, who allot the regency prepared from the downcast of the cosmos, were those according to the mystery come in prior, which it's not from, it's before. Ephesians 1:4, in relationship to the superposition of the heavenlies on, which here is, I believe this is an adjective, heavenlies on, 20:32. Yes, adjective. Well, we also have the noun, which Paul uses in 2 Timothy 4, concerning into his heavenly on regency, which is according to the mystery that was given to the Apostle Paul, according to his understanding, into the guardship of the dwelling law, to uphead the all in Christ, those who come prior into the wedding feasts at midnight. This was the zeal of the Apostle Paul, that I jointly bound you to the one man, the bridegroom, Christ, to give as pure virgins stand by to Christ, so that when the door of the wedding opens at midnight, they're not locked out into the third watch time. So understanding the audience Jesus is speaking to concerning binding and loosening is to give diligent standby, pure virgin, approved to God as unashamed worker, correctly cutting the word of truth regarding the zeal of Paul into the better resurrection, okay? Because those who are locked out of the wedding will still allot the regency, but it's not the better promises. It's not the heavenly on gift. Hebrews 6:4 in conjunction with the heavenly on regency, as well as the heavenly on calling, which is uniquely different than those who will come in last. Consider watching my videos 169, the heavenly on gift, as well as video 144, what is the foundation of correctly cutting the word of truth? Because when we don't understand how to correctly cut the word of truth, we will read verses out of context, not understanding the audience specific to the instructions and how it pertains to the last days. So this has nothing to do with present right now. We're not binding and loosening things. And then even according to the mystery, when we enter the wedding feasts, we're not doing this. No, we are the angels that Jesus is mentioning in Matthew 25:31, who are with him in his glory as officiating spirits in the third watch time, to lead my least brothers into the allotment down here, to lead them into their allotted portion of the kingdom, the regency. Hence, I give you the keys of the regency of the heavens, who are the blissful are those of the third watch time. This is all third watch time context here. Same as the Beatitudes.